Number 9. Also, the Railway Territory Civil Association in Tanganyika. Tanganyika Territory Civil Service Association, TTCSA, which was formed by Martin Kayamba and the People's Union in 1908 in Nigeria. Such association extended more pressure on colonialists to consider giving African independence, which led to African nationalism. Number 10. Colonial social infrastructures also played a big role in facilitating the spread of a rise of African nationalism. That's why some historians do say that colonialism sown a seed of its own destruction. Infrastructures like railways and roads facilitated nationalistic activities in rural and urban centers by spreading the message of liberation in all parts of Africa. Number 11. Formation of Pan-Africanist movements. In 1900, by William Sylvester from the New World, which later led to the formation of OAU, an organization that united all African independent nations to help in fighting for African independence. Student, apart from the internal factors, also there were external factors, as I said. So now, let us discuss the external factors. The external factors, these were factors that motivated nationalism but being generated from outside Africa. Such forces includes 1. The returning of ex-soldiers who participated in the war on the side of their colonial masters, assisting them as porters and security guards of many camps. This participation brought the awareness, since these soldiers were exposed to Western democracy, freedom and liberation, message some veterinaries like Dedan Kimathi, who were later a leader of Mau Mau in Kenya. 2. Formation of UNO, which replaced the League of Nations, where independent African states were allowed to participate as members. It becomes an organization of all nations. African and Asian nations, through the UN, opposed the colonialists and demanded self-determination. Unlike during the League of Nations, where African colonies become mandatory colonies of European nations. The Indian and Pakistan independences. These acted as external pressure for the Africans to emulate. Both were British colonies that attained their independence in 1948 as one nation, which later separated into two nations. Following that, Africa quoted such incidents as a negotiate tool to argue for the independence. Number 4. The Badang Conference of 17th April 1955, where Asians and African nations such as South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Libya and Egypt met in Indonesia to discuss their problems, which includes colonialism and economic development. They emphasized in solidarity. It was during this conference that Non-Aligned Movement, NAM, was formed. Number 5. Marshall Plan. This was initiated by George Marshall, the Prime Minister of USA, whereby he began giving loans to the war-ruined European nations on a condition that they should decolonize Africa and Asian nations by granting independence to those nations. Open door policy of USA. This policy was introduced by USA for the aim of conducting businesses with independent African states. Thus, it began requesting colonialists to give independence to African countries so as to do business with USA. Number 7. The British Labour Party, which assumed power in 1945. Its policies were against colonialism, which they viewed as oppression of humanity and wastage of British taxpayers' money, such as anti-colonial sentiments in Britain, made many nationalistic movements to agitate for their immediate independence. Number 8. The rise of the USA as a leading capitalist nation. After the World War II, US became the chief supplier of war materials, and the war did not affect her economy negatively, made her to become a leading capitalist nation, and began to advocate for the colonization of African nations as a trick to compensate for not colonizing through establishment of neo-colonialism to get market for her finished goods, area of investment for her international cooperation. Number 9. The aftermath of the Second World War. To the colonialists who incurred a lot of losses and could not continue with spending to the colonies, so they were forced to grant some independence to some African states. But on top of the above, some European powers adopted intensive exploitation to revamp their economies, which awakened many Africans to resist, thus their rise of nationalism in Africa.